Hello everyone, it's me Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my end of January slash heading into February video. So in this video I am going to be showing the rest of the goals that I had for January that I needed to get done, which I think in my last video I still had 2 more goals that I needed to reach, so I'm going to be showing the progress I got done on those. I'm also going to be showing a new start, possibly 2 new starts. So as of filming this video right now, it is January 30th. I have a piece of fabric that is supposed to be coming today. If it comes today, I will be having a new start. My plan for this video is I would like to upload it have it uploaded to YouTube on February 1st. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the progress that I've got done so far today, as of today, January 30th. And then I'm also going to be inserting little clips at the end of if my fabric comes and my new start. I'm also going to be getting my February goals ready so that I'm ready to go into February. And then, like I said, the video will go up February 1st so that it can be a nice clean slate for me where you guys know everything that I've done throughout January, and then I can go into February just getting ready for my goals. So the last 2 goals that I had to do was I needed to finish my stitching for the chart Tonight We Ride, which is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I needed to do another, I think, 400 stitches, which I got done, and I will include before and afters of, you know, where it was before I started working on it, and here it is now. I put my 400 stitches in on the house, so I was working on the house here, and then the house gets really wide, so there ends up being really long rows of black that are going to be going on right here. And so I kind of broke it up and I did this little section of the roof of the house here, and then I also did a few of the little bats. So that was fun, but it was 400 stitches of black. This month ended up having a lot of black stitching because on Little Gamer I only did black stitching, which Little Gamer is the chart that I have from Gecko Rouge. The artwork is by Medusa Dollmaker. Medusa Dollmaker has put Little Gamer up on her Etsy shop. So if you were wanting Little Gamer, and it's cheaper because you can buy just the chart instead of with Gecko Rouge, you have to buy the full kit. So Little Gamer is officially on the Medusa Dollmaker Etsy shop. I did a lot of black this month though. So Little Gamer was black, this chart was black, my Witchy Stitcher chart I was stitching black, and so yeah, a lot of 310, but I'm excited with where this is at right now. And this is stitched on, this is Halloween fabric from Witch's Garden Crafts. It's a 16 count 2/1 full cross, and actually the fabric I'm waiting for today is from Witch's Garden Crafts, and it's the fabric that I'm going to be using for the board game Stitch Along from Taylor and Cromwell. So I'm hoping that comes soon. Right now it's 11 o'clock. My mail usually comes around like 12-ish, so hopefully I will have it soon and can start that chart in a little bit. Anyways, so the other thing that I needed to reach the goal for was the chart Autumn Harmony by Maxine Gadd. This is the chart where in this year I would like to do 60,000 stitches on her. And the way that I've broken it up to try and reach that goal is if I do 164 stitches every single day, then I will have reached my 60,000 stitches on her. And for this chart, I'm actually, when I break it up monthly, I am actually doing it based off of the days per month. So other charts, I just broke it up where I was like, I'm going to work on it for 8 months, divided by 8, the amount of stitches. This chart, I'm actually doing 164 multiplied by however many days are in that month. So every month will be a slightly different amount of stitches to do on her. And I did it that way because for a month like February, there are less days. I did not want to have to do the same amount of stitches every month on her when some months like February are shorter. So for February, I'm doing less stitching on this chart, which will be nice. So hopefully I can still reach my February goals. Anyway, so Autumn Harmony, I was working on the top again, and I worked on a lot of the lighter colors in here, filling them in. And then after that, I started picking colors and then just filling them in where I could on my hoop. So like I picked the red up here, and then I just started filling in red stitches going down this whole section. And so I think I'm just gonna fill that section in kind of just by picking one color and then working it in. And I did that with a couple colors. So I did a red, I did some oranges, and I was just filling them in throughout that section. And this is being stitched on a 18 count 2/1 full cross. So here is the full chart so far. And then I have it going all the way down to the bottom now, so that's exciting. I am still kind of considering doing extreme cross country on her, and doing the color that has the most amount of stitches is I think 814, which is a bright red. So I was kind of thinking about doing, you know, extreme cross country and filling in one of the reds. And then that way I could finish off. Some of the colors only have like 200 stitches left, but they're scattered throughout. So if I fill in some of the red, that will give me anchor points of where other stitches need to go. So I'm kind of thinking of doing one of the big colors, and then I can finish some of the colors that have less stitches. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. I'm not sure yet exactly what I plan on doing though. And then car stitching. I did have car stitching, and I was working on the chart Pokemon Scarlet Violet, which is from Glitch Stitch AU. And I was filling in, because I do it in the car, I just pick one color, and so I was working on this brown still, which is 838. And I've just been filling in this brown, and it keeps going all the way to the other Joy-Con over here. So that's all I've been doing. I don't even know how many stitches, like a couple hundred stitches done on it. And this is being stitched on an 18 count fabric, 2/1 full cross. I'm excited to finish like some of these like kind of like more boring areas like this brown. The Joy-Cons are like chunks of colors, and then get back to the area where the Pokemon are, because you know, that'll be funner. There's like water and stuff I think here, so I'm looking forward to getting out of like the actual switch part. Is kind of less fun stitching, but I love the way this is turning out. And this is on fabric that has other charts that I have just put on there, and I have been considering switching my idea. So originally my plan was to put a whole bunch of charts onto this one piece of fabric. Recently, I have actually been thinking about just cutting them and finishing things small, because I have been hanging things up recently and actually finishing things. So I have been considering like cutting these apart separately and then actually finishing them so I can hang them up and fit them into like small places. Like there's like a place here where I could use like a little stitched piece here. And so I've been thinking about breaking this up, but I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. So I will just leave it until I for sure have an idea. So that takes me, I finished all my January goals. That was all my goal stitching, was to work on those projects. Those are all projects where I either would like to have them finished throughout the year, or projects that have a large amount of stitching that I want to get done on them. So after I finished my goals, I was thinking about, I could keep going on the goal projects and then just get farther ahead, but I also don't want to get like burned out of them, because I'm going to be stitching on them for the majority of the year. And so I decided I was going to organize some of my stuff. So I was organizing my floss, getting like my floss cards a little bit neater, also going through and trying to see if I'm like running low on any floss colors that I might need soon. And then I also had my fabrics out, and I was trying to put fabrics with charts. So whenever I buy charts, I always put them into Pattern Keeper, because I like to see the mock-up, and also that's an easy way for me to keep track of charts. Otherwise I would forget what I have purchased, because I have a lot of things. And so I've just been kind of trying to match up what piece of fabric is like a nice shade to go with this chart and is like a right size, you know, what would it fit on. And so I was going through, I was kind of trying to match things up, and then I've also been putting them into the Notion app, because on Notion, on your whip area, you can have a section that's like to do, and then you can put if you're kitting it up, if it has fabric with it and stuff like that. So I've been putting charts into Notion that are charts that I haven't stitched yet. If they have fabric, I've put the fabric with it and stuff. So I'm just trying to get that stuff organized, and it's mostly smaller charts, because I have said I would like to start more small things. After I did my whip parade, someone had asked me how many full coverage charts I have going, and I think it was like 24. And I think that was before I started the Haid Stitch Along, so I have 25 full coverage charts, and I only have 33 or 34 projects, which means most of my charts are full coverage. Most of my charts are also over 10,000 stitches, which means most of my charts are large, so I can't really finish most of my things in like a small time frame, so I would like to have more small things started. Anyways, so I was going through matching up fabrics to charts to see what I have, and there was one chart that my daughter saw and she loved it, and it was one from last year. The Stitchers Collective did an Earth Day charity thing, and so they had, I can't remember how many designers, it might have been like 20 designers, each designed a small chart, you would donate money to a list of charities that they had, and then you would send them the receipt. You would get all the charts from the designers, and I did that last year, and one of the charts was a chart from Flossie Fox Shop. I actually have a lot of charts from Flossie Fox Shop because I am on their Patreon, and I don't think I've ever talked about that before. So I actually am a patron. I don't even know the term. I don't use Patreon that much, but there's two people that I support monthly on Patreon, and there is Flossie Fox Shop and Sur3. So Flossie Fox Shop has a lot of like fantasy, colorful, like cute fantasy though, so it's not like dark fantasy charts. There's like a lot of dragons and witch like things, but they're really cute style, not like dark fantasy. And then Sur3 has a lot of like video game things on their Patreon. So I'm trying to think. On Sur3, I know there is a chart that is like Hyrule mushrooms, so it's a bunch of mushrooms from the Zelda games. There was a Pokemon chart that was released around Christmas time that was like a little stocking that was really cute. And so they both have very different things, and I like both of their like styles, so I really like being on their Patreon so that I can get these charts and, you know, see what they're doing. You also get to answer like polls. So for Flossie Fox Shop, there are usually polls the month before that will say like which kind of chart would you like next month, and then you get to vote, and then that's what chart ends up being designed. And so it's really fun, and I like the charts. So on Flossie Fox Shop, there are actually a couple other charts that I would like to get stitched eventually. One of them is a fox with a pumpkin. Hold on, I will see if I can find it. And I'll insert a picture. The thing is with Patreon that kind of, you know, is disappointing for people if they like something later. I think most of the things from Patreon do eventually go to their Etsy shop. Some of them I don't know if they do, but they're only on Patreon for a certain amount of time, so you have to download them when they're there, otherwise they are gone, and then they eventually go to their Etsy shop. So yeah. Anyways, there's one that's called Cozy Pumpkin Fox. I would like to stitch that one eventually, and it's fairly small. And then there's also Flossie Fox Shop had a chart that was a Howl's Moving Castle sampler, and I love it. It's adorable. I love Howl's Moving Castle, and that is something that I would also like to get stitched, and it's relatively small, so hopefully it wouldn't take that long. Anyways, back to the one I started. So my daughter fell in love with this one chart because according to my daughter, I do not stitch enough animals, which is a fair complaint. I do not think any of my charts have animals right now. So she found this one, and I had fabric that worked perfectly for it, and so I was like, I will start this because it was the end of January. I actually met my goals for January on January 27th, and it's January 30th now. So I was like, I have time until the end of the month. I have a few days, so I will start this one for my daughter. It's only 1,400 stitches because it's in Pattern Keeper, I can see. And so it shouldn't take me that long, and so I started it. I actually just started it last night though. And so the chart that I started is called Arctic Friends. It has a little polar bear, a little whale. The colors are really bright and it's very fun. And I had this perfect fabric from my Christmas mystery box from thesewingshop.ca, which is also Kaylee Tet Stitch on YouTube and Instagram. So this is my start on Arctic Friends. I am over halfway finished, so I am hoping to get it finished. I have the rest of today and tomorrow. And so my plan for this video, because I want it to have all of January, I am going to film this part here where I show you what I've got done so far, and then I'll be inserting like little vlog clips later, you know, of what I end up doing the rest of tonight, because it's only 11 a.m. the rest of tonight and then tomorrow. So anyways, this is my Arctic Friends. I am loving the way this is stitching up. I have already finished these little polar bears in the center. This here is going to be a big whale. And yeah, it's just really fun. And I just loved the way, when I saw this fabric, I was like, this will be perfect because it has like the darker section here where the polar bears are. So the polar bears are like a lot of white, so they needed a darker color behind them to make them stand out. And then I like the way that it kind of transitions to other colors. So I loved this, and I am excited to have this one done. One thing that I would really like to finish is, because I put all of my charts into Pattern Keeper once I buy them, I would like to get some of them stitched so I can start deleting things out of Pattern Keeper, because I like to keep them there so that I know what I have to do, but I would like to start getting some of them finished. So yeah, And I thought this would be a perfect way. And like I said, my daughter was super excited. She saw that I was stitching it and she was like, oh, the polar bears! And she was excited. So I'll be working on this tonight, possibly tomorrow if I don't get it finished tonight. And yeah. The other plans going forward is I did mention I have fabric on the way from Witch's Garden Crafts that I will be using for the board game stitch along from Taylor and Cromwell. I'll insert the picture of that, and once that comes I will be starting that hopefully tonight because it's out for delivery, so I'm looking forward to that. I actually had been planning on not starting this at all and just waiting and only starting the board game stitch along because I was like, I don't want to start 2 things in a month. But then I was like, if I can get this finished, this is like, okay, this is like one of those girl math things. So I was like, if I start and finish a chart in 1 month, so like it never really makes it to a second month, it's never made it to a whip parade. Does it count as a whip if it doesn't make it to a whip parade? I don't know, because there's no like official, like if you only were to watch my whip parades, you would never even know this existed. See? Girl math. Anyways, so yeah, I was just thinking if I get that finished, it barely even counts as a whip. It never even made it into a project bag. So if it doesn't make it into a project bag, is it a whip? So I'm hoping that will be my first finish of 2024. And so going forward, possible new start tonight, hopefully, fingers crossed. If that comes, I will like insert a little video of my fabric to show what it looks like. I'm really excited because the fabric looks really cool in the pictures. I will be back hopefully in a little bit with a clip of my fabric from Witch's Garden Crafts. I'm also going to insert a clip of me putting together my goals for February because Whip Go numbers have been called, so I know what is going to be stitched for February, so I need to put together my February goal list. And then also I think what I'm going to do is start putting like extras at the bottom of my goal list. So that's how I will try and do new starts, is if I meet all of my goals in a month for the projects, because the goal stitching is going to be a priority, then at the end of the month, if there's time left, then that will be when I do new starts. So for January, you know, that's when I did this start and then the board game stitch along. So for February, I was thinking that because I wanted to do a Long Dog sampler new start at the end of February because it's a leap year, and so a lot of people do new starts for leap year and then try and finish that project for the next leap year. So I'm going to try and have all my goals finished before the end of February, and then I can have my new start at the end of February on my Long Dog. And so I think that's what I'm going to do, is at the end of the month, or on my goal list, I will start writing down like extra, and that will be like where I can put like if I want to have a new start, and try and have smaller starts. So I'm really trying hard to not start large projects. I think my rule for large projects will be I will only start a large project if it's from a company that I do not have any of their charts, because I do want to have a variety of companies, because a lot of companies have different types of artists. So I would like to have a variety of different artists, and a lot of companies also kind of chart differently. So for example, Tilton Crafts has a lot of dithering, so their backgrounds are not usually like solidly stitched. On the Game of Thrones chart that I'm stitching, the background is actually like checkerboard of 2 colors, the majority of the background. And so I feel like it's different. Like I like to see how different companies chart them and how they turn out. So that is the thing for large charts. When I put together my goals, I will be adding extras at the bottom, and those will be possible new starts. Or if there's just something that I really would like to work on that month. So like if it's, you know, fall and I really want to work on a fall chart, I'll put that down in like the extras. You know, if I have extra time, it will be going towards those charts. And so I will be inserting clips of that. That is all that I have for right now though, so I will see you soon, hopefully, with possible progress on this, because I will also insert like video clips of, you know, what I get done on this today and tomorrow if it takes me until tomorrow, and then clips of possible new starts. I am back, and it is now after lunchtime, and I have a nice little package with my fabric. I cut the package open, but I still have not pulled the fabric out, so we're gonna look at the fabric together. And then it's 1:15, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to start it right now because I have to get my kids soon from school, so I might have to put off the start, but I at least have my fabric here. Oh my god, it's so pretty! So we're gonna pull it out of the bag. And this fabric, like I mentioned before, it's from Witch's Garden Crafts on Etsy. And let's see it. Here is the fabric. And this will be for the board game stitch along from Taylor and Cromwell. I want to start in the center of the fabric because that is, I think, where like the first tile is going to be released. So it's, the board game is set up like a Catan board. If you've never played Catan, there are tiles that are arranged to make a board. And so you stitch, the black border is released right now for each of the tiles. And then I'm fairly sure that in the directions for the chart, they said that the first thing that they will be releasing, which I think the first release is sometime in the middle of February, is it will be the center tile. And then they said that everything else can be placed wherever you want after that. So I'm not sure what the center is going to be, but yeah, the center tile will be released first. So I want to start stitching in the center so I will be able to start that, you know, whenever. So here's my fabric, and I think I ordered, yes, this is a 16 count. I plan on stitching 2/1 full cross on this, and this is going to be more black, which I had mentioned before. I've done a lot of black stitching in January, and yeah, the border for this I think is black. So, and I'll be back once I have started this or stitched, because I haven't stitched yet. I filmed the video, I edited the parts of the video that I could, like added pictures. I really love pictures. That's why I add so many pictures into my videos. It's just because I'm a visual person, so instead of just describing something, I feel like just throwing a picture is easier because a picture is, you know what, worth 1,000 words. So I added the pictures, I ate lunch, and now my fabric is here. So now it is time for me. I might stitch on this first, then pick up my kids, and then I can start on this after I have picked up my children. So I will be back with an update after I have done something. I am back without any cross-stitch progress still, but it's because I was going to get rid of the bag that my fabric came in, and look what was inside. A small little piece of fabric. I think she usually includes a small piece of fabric because I also have another one from a previous order last year, which I'm trying to dig it out. Whoa. And I got this purple one. So last year I got purple. This time I got this blue sparkly one, and the size of these I think would actually work for Flossmas. I stitched that little advent ornament from that How To Girl. I thought it would be an idea of something I could do with this. It's blue and it's super, super sparkly. And yeah. It's really pretty, and like I said, I'm pretty sure these are like sample pieces, so she has these fabrics in her shop. So last time, like I said, purple, love purple, and now this sparkly blue. So those are really pretty, and I'm excited to have those, and now I need to figure out something to do with those because I will do something with them. So that is all though. It is time for me to go and get my kids in the car. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch on my Pokemon switch chart or if I will possibly bring this in the car. I'm sorry if you can hear my washer, but clothes gotta be washed. I might stitch this in the car. This only uses 5 colors, so I could just grab a couple of those colors and bring them with me and try and get progress on this, because like I said, I really want to get this done so I don't carry it into February. So I'll be back when I have actual cross-stitch progress, for reals this time. It is now Wednesday the 31st, which means it's the last day of January, which means this is the last day to work on my like fun little extras until tomorrow. I will be going back to my February goals. So I'm going to start off by showing you what I got done yesterday stitching. I ended up stitching mostly on the Arctic Friends chart from Flossie Fox Shop, and it's done. So my first finish for 2024, and I am very excited about it. This is being stitched on a fabric that was a mystery fabric, I don't know what it is, from my Christmas mystery box from Kaylee Tent Stitch on YouTube and Instagram, and the shop is thesewingshop.ca, which I'm really excited because I had ordered fabric and it is out for delivery today from the sewing shop. So if it comes not too late, I might include a clip of my fabrics because I'm really excited to see them. Anyways, so back to the chart. So I stitched this, it's whatever, I'm not sure what fabric it is. My mystery box from her for the Christmas mystery box, my fabrics that I selected were 11 to 20 count fabrics. So it could be anything from 11 to 20 count. I'm assuming it looks like a 16 or something-ish. I don't think it would be 18 because the stitches weren't super squished. Sometimes with 18 count, when you're doing 2/1, the stitches are kind of really squished in there. and it didn't seem that squishy. So I think it's probably like a 16-ish or something. And I love the way that this turned out. I love the way that it turned out with the fabric, how there was like the dark spot where the little polar bear and then the little like fox is, and then the whale. And then I almost had a terrible thing happen last night. So I was stitching this, and there's only 5 colors in this chart, and I didn't kit this up or anything because I only stitched on it for like 2 days. I was just stitching from my floss, which is right here. This card here has all of my master set on floss cards, so I will pull one off. So this is my master set of DMCs on these floss cards that are from Amazon, and so I was just stitching from this set of floss. This color here, the light color, is not white, it's actually B5200. So I was stitching with the B5200. I knew I didn't have a ton on my master set. I ran out. So I had stitched every other color. They were all done. I get to the B5200 and I had 95 stitches left in B5200, and I did not have any left on my master set here. I did not have any. I have a couple like plastic bins that have extra floss that don't fit on here, which part of the reason why I switched to doing a master set like this is because I used to just buy floss for every project. And now I'm at a point where there are some colors that I have way too much of. So like colors that are used a lot in charts like 938, 3371, I have like ridiculous amounts of them. So I have like Ziploc bags with those colors because I would buy a lot of full coverage charts. I would fully kit them up with their own sets of floss, and you end up with a whole bunch. And it's like, it's not necessary to have 20 skeins of the same color when you can just use what you have and then buy more. That's my thought. Anyways, so I ran out, and then I ended up having to go digging through my other projects to see if any other project had B5200 in it. Luckily, I found one, and I was able to steal some of the B5200 and get this finished, because I was like, I did not want to have to go to a store to get this floss because the nearest craft store is like 20 minutes away. I didn't want to go to a craft store for one color of floss. So yeah, luckily I found it. It's my first finish of 2024. And like I said, it doesn't even count as like a whip or raising my whip counts or anything like that if I finish it in like 2 days. So there was that one. And then I did end up starting the board game stitch along from Taylor and Cromwell on my fabric that is from Witch's Garden Crafts. And it was a tiny little start. So this is 100 stitches. I am starting this one from the center because I wanted it to be centered on the fabric. So here's the fabric. And the way I normally find the center is just doing the thing where you fold it in half like one way and then fold it in half the other way. I put a needle where the little corner of the fabric is. And then because there are no stitches right now in the center, because the center of the chart is in the middle of one of the tiles, I ended up having to count up to here. So I started right up in this black line, and then I decided to start stitching over to the sides of the tile. So that's my little tiny start, 100 stitches. I plan on stitching on this more today, so I will insert what I get done later today once I get something done. And yeah, and then I'll also be back when my fabric comes to show my fabric, so I will see you then. I am back and I have package. So I have my fabric that I ordered from the sewing shop. It just came. I still have not actually opened it fully. Like, I cut it open so I can get into it, but I have not taken it out yet. So we are going to take out and see my fabrics that I ordered from the sewing shop. So here it is. So I'm so excited. One piece of fabric is, I think, going to be for my February new start for in February, I want to do a new start for leap year, and I want to start Dragon Hall, which I love that chart. I've loved it since it came out. So there's that fabric, and then I also ordered a piece of fabric for my Zelda chart from Pinky the Pink. So let us see how they look. So and then the other thing is, when I ordered, there was a sale where it was a Boxing Day sale, so right after Christmas, where if you ordered fabric, you got a free piece of fabric. So I'm gonna try and see which ones here first are the ones for, okay, the ones that I ordered. This one here is Iron Ore. This was the one I ordered for Dragon Hall by Long Dog Sampler. And I was really excited for this one when I saw it, because I originally had thought about doing like just like a gray fabric for Dragon Hall, but I really wanted to do a like more exciting fabric, and then I saw this on the sewing shop and I fell in love. So I love the way that this fabric looks. This is called Iron Ore. I ordered it in a 20 count and I plan on stitching it 1/1 full cross on the 20 count. And I just love the colors. I think they will go great with the colors in the chart. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a really fun fabric to stitch it on because it's beautiful. Like, I love this style where it's not like fully dyed one color. It's got like the drips of colors. I don't know. I love this. So this is Iron Ore. And then the fabric that I ordered for Zelda is Ursula's Domain. I ordered a 32 count. And I'm still not sure for Zelda because, okay, the Zelda chart was released in different colors. So there is blue Zelda, there's pink, and then there's a couple other ones. I'm still not sure which one I want to stitch, but here's the fabric that I ordered. It's a really long piece, so I'm not going to use the whole thing for Zelda. I'll be able to have extra, and yeah, so, oh my god, it's so long. But yeah, so it's a fabric that has like blues and greens and purples, and I thought this would be really cool for it. I think I might do the pink Zelda. I'm not sure. Pink or blue, which, I mean, that was the options all along, so I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do pink or blue. But I love this fabric. So there's this one, which, like I said, this is going to be enough for something else because it's a really big piece. And then the ones that I got free were, this one is called Shibori Soundwave. I don't know if I said that right. And it's a 28 count linen. And this is really pretty. Size-wise, I don't know if this would work for Link. I actually have fabric for Link, but this looks kind of like it would be a good color for Link, because I also have Link from Pinky the Pink. So there's this one. And then there is this one. OMG. Is this what I think? Okay, this one, I saw this on her Instagram. She released a Lord of the Rings fabric. And this is the Lord of the Rings fabric. And it is a 15 count. And it's amazing. So I'm going to have to find like a Lord of the Rings chart to stitch for this piece. So here it is. So it's Lord of the Rings. It's got gold lettering in a circle, so then you can stitch like inside the circle. I need to find something to stitch on this because this is amazing. But yeah. And it's a, what did it say it was? 15 count. So that is exciting. I am super happy. So those are my fabrics. I love them all. I cannot wait until I can start stitching some of my patterns on some of these fabrics. But yeah, so I am super excited. There was also a note I will read myself real quick. That is my order. And stitching wise, what have I been doing? I have been working on the board game stitch along. I have done probably like 100 stitches. My count right now is kind of off, which I will show you. So here's what I've got done so far on the board game stitch along. I added this part here, which you can clearly see what I've added because I'm only doing half crosses right now. So my plan for today is I will take this one in the car when I go pick up my kids later. I still have like a couple hours before I have to leave though. So I am going to just do half crosses right now. And then that way when I go into the car later to pick them up, I don't need to bring the pattern with me. I can just go over and do the top half of all these crosses. So that's what I've been doing. It's just the bottom leg, and then I'll go back later and do the rest in the car so I don't have to count. Because I am worried about messing up this border. The border is like 4,000 stitches, and it's making these little tiles for the outer things. And I'm worried that I'm going to mess one up and have to tear out like a whole bunch of stitches. And that would be a nightmare. So, I really don't want to have to try and count in the car and then possibly mess up because, you know, you get distracted and stuff. So that's what I've got done, and I will possibly be back later with one more update before I get my kids, and then I will probably end the video after that update. So I'll be back then with what I get done. Alright, so I am back already and I don't have any cross stitch progress to show, so there's that. But after I filmed that last little clip, I started trying to think of charts that I could put on my fabrics, and so I'm just going to talk about what charts I might put on fabrics. So for the little piece of fabric that I got with my Witch's Garden Crafts order, I think that I might put a chart that, where is the chart? I need to go to Pattern Keeper real quick. So last year when I got the charts from Stitchers Collective when they had the Earth Day charity thing going on, one of the charts that came in it was a Lola Crow chart, and it is a Bigfoot chart that is Bigfoot Says Save the Earth, and it's, how big is it? It's not that big. It is, I need to go to the PDF and not to the mock-up. It's 22 stitches by 36 stitches, so it's only like 1.5 inches by like 2.5. And I will insert the picture of it. So it's just a tiny little Bigfoot. Bigfoot is holding the earth because, you know, you gotta save the earth. So I might put that on this fabric, and then that is something I could have, you know, hanging up to kind of fill in spaces along. I'm kind of trying to make this wall of just cross stitch slash gaming things. So like, I haven't ordered it yet, but I plan on getting, I found them on Amazon. They make little stands that you can stick on the wall using like command hooks, and then you can put your controllers on the wall. So I would like to like have controllers hanging up because I have a ton of controllers everywhere. So like we have most game systems because me and my kids all play games. So we have Xbox, PS5, PS4. I still have a PlayStation 3. There's a PlayStation 2 somewhere, and then we have a Switch, and just, yeah, controllers everywhere. So I kind of want to have like controllers, you know, hanging places, you know, and I just, this would be a good thing to like fill in little places on the wall. So there's that, and this would be a quick project. So if I got to the end of the month and I don't have a ton of time left, I could possibly get this Bigfoot one stitched up fairly quick. So that is something for that fabric. And then I was looking at charts to go on this fabric. I was thinking this would be a good fabric for Halloween because I've been stitching or trying to stitch more Halloween stuff, and I've probably went overboard with the amount of Halloween stuff I want to start. And I know that my sister bought a Praiseworthy Stitches chart, and it was a Halloween one before. And so I started looking at other Praiseworthy Stitches charts, and there was one called Esmeralda's Charm School, I think. Where is it? Okay, it's called Esmeralda's Academy of Charms, and I see this chart. I love this chart. It's a nice Halloween one, and I think it would work on this fabric being oriented like this. So this would be like on the bottom where like there's like the trees growing, like little kids running around, and then there's like a big house that would go up here. So I think this fabric will work perfect for that. I already checked the stitch count, so I think this will be a Praiseworthy Stitches chart, which I've never stitched one before, so you know, trying new things. So that is exciting for that one. And then I was trying to figure out what to put on the Lord of the Rings fabric. And one idea that I have for this Lord of the Rings fabric is previously I had purchased, and I had actually started it and then I quit working on it, is I had got the chart from Heaven and Earth Designs, Eternal Promise, I'll insert pictures, and I have the supersize max color version. I quit working on it. It was huge. I don't think I want to stitch supersized charts because they're too big. But what I was thinking is I thought about it for a while before I even got this fabric, of cropping the chart and only stitching Arwen and Aragorn. So just like cropping it to be just around them and only stitching them. Well, now that I have this fabric, I'm thinking about what if I crop it so it's a circle, and then I try and center them in here, and then I just stitch them from the Eternal Promise chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. And that way I will still get like the good, like the meat of the chart, but I don't have to stitch all the extra, because that chart has, the border on it is really pretty, but it was also not fun to stitch because it's mostly light colors. I had the max color, so you were changing colors all the time and just stitching a whole bunch, every light color you could imagine in that border. So getting rid of the border and just stitching them sounds like a much better option. And I did the math because it's a 15 count, and on the label it says that the fabric is 30 by 30 and that the space inside the border, or inside the words, is 20 by 20. So I did the math, and on a 15 count, you can have 300 stitches and have that be 20 by 20 on 15 count. So I need to look at my chart and try and crop around them and try and have it be like 300-ish stitches, maybe a little less, you know, to make sure I have some wiggle room, and then figure out about centering it and then possibly starting them on this piece of fabric. So that is an option for that, and I'm excited because, like I said, I'd been thinking about stitching that chart cropping it down myself anyways, and so now I have a piece of fabric to use for that. So that's what I'm thinking about doing for that fabric. Now it is really time to get stitching. I might just end the video here though. So I will include after this clip of me making my task list for February in Notion. It's a really short little video. I already did it. And I will mention here too that the WIPGO numbers called were 3 and 24. My projects for 3 and 24 are Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler and Lord of the Rings by Glitch Stitch AU. So those will be coming out in February and getting 1,000 stitches. So yeah, that is all that I have though for now. I will go into a little task list thing, which like I said is really short, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be in February. Yay! I'm excited for February. Just get out of January, go into February, and yeah. So I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye! So this here is going to be me setting up my goals for February, and the first projects I will put are my WIPGO projects. WIPGO numbers were 3, which for me is Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler, and I want to do 1,000 stitches on that. The next number that was called was WIPGO number 24, I think? Yeah, 24. And that is Lord of the Rings by Glitch Stitch AU, which will get another 1,000 stitches. Then the Haid Stitch Along, which I need to work on every month to get it finished, and do 5,145 stitches. And then Autumn Harmony, my plan for this month is to do 4,756 stitches on her, which is slightly less because February has less days, and I am calculating the amount of stitches based on days. Then Little Gamer needs to get another 2,500 stitches to get my 30,000 stitches in for the year. Tonight We Ride needs to get another 1,464 stitches so it can get finished in August. Kita needs to get another 1,800 stitches that she can get finished hopefully in October, or the stitching finished. She still needs back stitching after that. Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage by Witchy Stitcher will get 528 stitches this month hopefully, and that will get it finished in August. And then I will do my extras. Extras are if I finish all my other goals, then I get to have some fun at the end of the month, and that will be a new start, which is Dragon Hall.